Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TimePro Sprint Review for Sprint 314. Today we have our two stakeholders, well, product owner Yuli and stakeholder Adam, as well as our tech lead JK. Let's jump into it. Okay, so starting off, this was a 1 week sprint and we had two goals. The first of which was to get Ingram Micro in a testing state with done video. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get there. One of the PBIs, which we'll visit shortly, was a bit bigger than we anticipated. So there was a little bit more work there, and we want that complete before we start to show the full process. The second one was the GitHub versus Angular upgrade, determine an order. This is something we could probably revisit down the track, but as per our conversation earlier, we did a small survey on a small sample of people who are below a 75% usage threshold. And we've found that people are more so prioritizing their Angular side of things. Cool. Alrighty.
With that one, I'd like you to do a bit of a summary with somebody like Callum or somebody, and just come up with what you've discovered. Maybe record a 1 minute summary of what it is. Now, just within the team, obviously I assume you guys have looked at the form more closely than I have. JK, knowing everything that you know now from people's results, what was the most important comments and which way do you lean?
I was surprised that actually a lot of people gave very positive responses. I thought that there would be a bit more pushback.
Positive towards what?
Toward the suggested timesheets.
Yeah. Oh, they like the feature.
Yeah. It seems
I thought you only asked the people that didn't use the feature.
Use it less.
Right.
Yeah, we have majority of people using it. It's just that we don't have very high percentage with some people.
Right.
But yeah, they seem to like the feature. But despite knowing that most of the people would have issues with GitHub integration, most of them actually want the Angular to be upgraded first, which also was a surprise.
Okay, and Toby, for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm much the same view. I would have thought that the GitHub integration would have been more popular, especially since we were expecting this sample of people to be more so GitHub using, since their suggested timesheet usage is less. We would have thought that would be mainly waiting on a GitHub integration, but to hear it from them that they want to have their Angular upgrade first, I think was surprising, but it's probably a good thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Anything for you? Did you look at the results?
Yeah. Well, not deep detail, but I spent more time on it than you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was anyone had any strong opinions.
Right. Okay.
Everyone was just like, generally speaking, you'd probably want to pay down tech debt before adding new features.
Yeah. And generally, that's what I would think first. But I really want that feature.
Sure.
And unless there's a lot of rework.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
Yeah, so I think I'm leaning towards the GitHub feature.
It's all back end stuff anyway. So, yeah, okay. I mean, sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like 2/3 for migration, 1/3 for GitHub, so it's fairly close to 50%.
Yeah.
Cool.
So basically what we've identified is there's no strong reason why we should do the Angular one first, which is kind of what we were looking for someone to tell us, oh God, no, don't do GitHub because you XYZ, you need to do Angular first. Nobody said that. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Who worked this sprint? Mainly JK and myself, a little bit of Tom. He worked on a UI element, which we'll visit shortly. So in terms of the backlog, we've been able to smash out a few bugs. There was a little bit of an issue with identity that we noticed more so yesterday, where our staging and local dev were blocked because we we're running into issues with authenticating with Identity Server. JK has been able to look through this, and we've found the issue. It is on the TimePro side. We're spamming the endpoint and temporarily making the service unavailable.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm saying that a bit wrong there, JK.
Yeah, so we are updating the OpenID configuration every 5 minutes, which seems to be pretty compute intensive for the Identity Server. That also means that before NSC Melbourne, it would be good to actually address this issue on TimePro. Just for reference, Sugar Learning caches this information on most of the browsers, and the last 7 days they only had 2 requests for getting that configuration.
Right.
TimePro had 11,000.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
So, JK and Toby, any auth things like this, please do with Hajir and Jeffrey together. Jeffrey is learning, Hajir understands this. So one of you pick this up, either JK or Toby, and then work with those two to get that done.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just a update on the front end on TimePro. We're using
Okay.
official libraries for.
Okay. Can I ask which of you two will work on the auth?
Probably me, considering that I'll also work on the rewards. That might be a priority to fix.
Okay, so JK, as a priority, can you get Jeffrey and Hajir and work on that together, pair?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. By the way, I have a call with the CEO of Identity Server, Duende, in a few days. So I would definitely like any pain or things you want to prioritize, communicate to me. So call me with those other two guys.
Quick question: what project is Jeffrey actually working on?
He is
Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye, is it? Okay, cool. Because this is wrong. Fix it.
Yeah.
Right, fix it. Ask me to fix it.
Cool. Alrighty.
Yeah, and Vlad should be also involved in the call. He done a lot of Identity Server as well.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry. Alrighty. So yeah, a couple of other little issues there. We were pulling in the wrong date field. This has been fixed up. We've updated the view. 0, the admin page, we weren't able to reproduce this bug, and it seems to no longer be an issue. Provisioning, there was an issue for like when you start up as a new developer that JK uncovered as part of the SSW EU staging work, so we're able to quickly address that. Next one here, adding an animation for the notes. This has been added. I believe there was a done video sent out earlier by Tom, who's now sort of stuck on client work. So any further issues, just let the team know and we can revisit that. Ingram Micro, so we're able to get a custom Xero account set up. So you can configure that within the application. So any invoices that are generated as part of this integration, that will be tagged with this once it's pushed over to Xero. The investigation for GitHub priority, we've discussed already. So that's all of the complete PBIs. We've got a couple here which are still in progress. The top one here hasn't had any work done on it this week. Chloe has been working hard on easy leave, so we haven't been able to snatch her time. JK has been working on cleaning up their SSW EU staging environment. With the CRM work, we're getting pretty close there from my understanding. JK, he's been doing a lot of stuff and we're sort of uncovering a few sort of side issues as we go. So it's been useful. Then finally, the implementation for the invoice discounts. This is part of the Ingram Micro work. This was underestimated. Yeah, there's a lot of work here. We're touching a lot of sort of fundamental logic with the invoices, so we want to make sure that we're doing this right as well, and creating unit tests as we go.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty. Stepping forward, we have the suggested timesheet usage. same as last week. Same with the automatic stuff.
So even though you did that poll and kind of reminded them that about the feature, it didn't change the stats at all.
Well, I guess potentially we might see it tomorrow come Friday and everyone's trying to spam it to get their free lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see at the next sprint review. Cool. Yeah, and automatic timesheets. Yeah, same sort of thing again. Small increase, not much of a difference. Sprint burn down. Pretty average this week. We expected that would get Chloe and Tom. Both those guys were had other commitments, so we overcommitted in terms of the PBI effort. Yeah, not really much else to say. Any questions so far?
That's good.
All good. Okay, code coverage. We've had an increase of 6 tests in the back end and no changes to the front end. As a result, we've seen like a tiny little increase in line coverage, but it's about the same since we're also adding code to go with it. Pipeline health, nothing to call out here. Deployments, we've seen 3 in the last week, all of which have been by SSW France and the Easy Leave team.
So how come you guys did no deployments in all the work you did?
In terms of the PBIs there hasn't been a whole lot of pull requests on our side, but also the pull requests that have gone through, they've just gone through with the Easy Leave team. So
so your work has got into production?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, very different to what I guessed. Okay.
So when Easy Leave deploys, you guys deploy.
Yeah, it's all the
It's one thing.
Yeah. Got it. Cool. Application health, a little bit of a reduction from last week, but still around that sort of 1.8, 1.9K. I've had a look. It's just the same old, nothing alarming.
Okay.
Epic. So it looks like we've had a step back in terms of the Ingram micro work, but as you may remember, last week there was a bunch of PBIs that weren't classified under a specific epic, so we've fixed that up. Alrighty. R&D, it's just been product research. As for the priority of the 2 epics. And then sprint retro. So I've sort of mentioned here, we've had a bit of Ingram micro progress, and also we've had a bunch of progress from JK with the SSW EU. John will be stoked about that. What didn't go so well? Identity server was failing for us, and that was a bit of a blocker for local development. We overcommitted in the sprint. Yuli's saying here that it looks like we're going to stall a bit on Ingram micro with myself and JK both leaving to client work. And then JK staging CRM sync, this sort of unit of work has uncovered a few unrelated bugs, which isn't good to see that there's bugs, but in the flip side, it's also nice that we're catching them. And using Yak Shaver.
Hey. Are you both using it? Oh, you're using it playing, Toby. Yeah, but JK's using it too. Good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I did 3 in the last 2 days.
Nice. Okay.
Yep. What improvements?
Toby, did you like my email to SSW all?
Yeah. Thanks for the shout out there. Loved it. Cool. So what improvements? We want to be able to address this identity server issue. I think first step is actioning that PBI that JK reported for limiting how much TimePro is hitting it.
Yes. Can you put in brackets JK to call Hajir and Jeffrey to pair?
Yeah. I'm going to mess up the spelling.
Hajir.
Right. Okay. And then a future step to that is I think we want to have a way of bypassing identity server when we're developing locally. So at the moment, we're sort of relying on that staging instance. As JK mentioned, there are ways around, but it's sort of a bit too much effort to be worthwhile.
Yeah, I definitely would have, just to put one more improvement in there, I would have called me once you and JK looked at the form. I would have called me just to get a quick summary so we have a decision. And then we would actually have a decision. And I probably would have called, Brady or Callum or someone prior to sending out the survey.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can make it much easier to use.
Email. Just I did email a bunch.
Cool. So last one there, we want to add a feature flag for the Ingram Micro background invoice generation. So at the moment, we've just got it completely disabled. But I think it would be good if we roll that out and then we can slowly start to test it a bit more on the staging environment. So we've got a separate feature flag for Ingram Micro and the actual background component of it. That was JK's suggestion. I might actually put. Cool. Alrighty. Is there any questions on that one, or we're about to jump into planning? Alrighty. So planning, as we've mentioned, resources are slim. So we've extended this out to 3 weeks because I've got this afternoon. JK's probably got 2 days, and then it's going to be waiting till Tom's back on the project.
Right. So you expect JK's only got 2 days left on this?
Look, he was supposed to call me this morning. He didn't. I tried calling him, no answer. So who knows?
Yes. So you might.
But he also has reward stuff to do. So I don't know what's important. What's more important there?
I would assume he's staying on this project.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So maybe push it out just 2 weeks for this point in time. We can always push it out later.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay. 2 weeks. Yep. No dramas. Yeah, and that's just the 2 PBIs here for the staging stuff, and also Ingram Micro finishing that off. Just because they're the ones that we've currently got a bit of velocity with.
Right.
Yeah, maybe consider that might be a priority also for rewards to add the bug for identity on TimePro to fix the overrun that we're doing against the SSW identity.
As long as you think you're going to be able to action that before client work, would that be?
It should be the first thing he does. Oh yeah. I think there's a very good chance that he'll still be working on TimePro in a week's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I can add that in then, and we'll run with that. Brilliant. Okay. If there's no further questions, I will upload the video once we're all done to the TimePro YouTube channel, where you can see the rest of our sprint reviews and features. Brilliant. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
See you next week.